Well, hello everyone. It is Saturday. It is July 11th, and it is my great pleasure to reintroduce everybody to Mark Denham. That's great. And at least at the moment, it seems to be a little bit of a lull. There's a few stories that are narratives that are kind of really dominating, but a lot of the most crazy stuff. I mean, these people are still deranged. I mean, they're still providing plenty of content.
Yeah.
They're still making videos every day. That's not going to stop. But as far as the topics, it seems as though they may have less to gripe about. It seems as though, yeah, some of the same topics will pick back up. They'll bring up the Epstein files. They'll bring up the Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk case. They'll bring up different types of Trump did this with the reflecting pool thing, or whatever the little whatever the narrative du jour happens to be. There's definitely no shortage of those things, but it seems to be a little bit quiet, a little too quiet sometimes.
Well, what I find is going on, if you go on TikTok and you dig, and you dig and you dig, you find content all over the place. I find it's a lot of the right-wing influencers that are on X that we would normally all rely on to say, all right, let's go see what type of clips this guy's pulled up today.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have drifted off of doing it. And a lot of them have kind of turned not anti-Trump, but they're kind of on the fence now. Like, they don't agree with certain narratives.
Mm-hmm.
This whole war with Iran thing has really stirred up a lot of shit with people.
Yeah.
And I find, say about 3 or 4 of my usual guys that I'll just check to get some quick clips to at least get me started for content.
Mm-hmm.
On X, they're not really pumping them out anymore like they used to. So it's like, I got to go, and yeah, unfortunately, I got to go and do more of the legwork now.
Mm-hmm. On TikTok and into the actual crazy that
Yeah,
I actually don't get much into that platform in particular, but I mean, is it at least somewhat searchable?
That's what I find. You more or less got to know, the way how you'll find stuff is you find one crazy, deranged, like, woke tard, right? And then you look at, like, what type of content do they repost?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do they repost? And what do they repost? And you're going down a rabbit hole that way. If you're just searching for, I don't know, I guess, keywords,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find stuff, but it starts to turn old fast.
I get you.
If you search up, like, July 4th, you'll pull up stuff from July 4th from last year really quick.
Gotcha.
So the searchability is not great on TikTok, but there's tons of content.
Very cool, very cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some clips here. There's a couple things that I came across somewhat recently.
It's really a cheap.
I'd like to show you here about how. Let me make sure I can get this all set up right. There's been this group of people that kind of do essentially struggle sessions. I mean, if you're not familiar with struggle sessions during socialism, they essentially, if you do a bad thing against the against the community, that you have to go up and you have to atone. And so this
That
is
sounds so liberal and leftist.
yeah. So here you go. Check this out real quick. Watch this guy have to apologize for himself.
Achievable.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Rich Logis, Executive Director and Founder of Leaving MAGA. It's a great honor to be with you tonight. As is customary, before I usually speak with any group, I would like to first apologize for my past MAGA activism.
Oh, my God.
Had I met all of you when I was in MAGA, I would have deemed each and every one of you to be an existential threat. And for that, I'm sorry. You did not deserve to be dehumanized in that way.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
now our 3rd year.
So there you go.
This guy's so fake. He's so fake.
I know.
I don't believe he was ever MAGA.
No, I bring this up because I ran into this because I was like, what has this guy been doing recently? Because I remember this guy from 2022, 2023. He was kind of, and he's was all over with Midas Touch, this which kind of gave the whole game away. There's no chance that guy is former MAGA and doing all this. But they did a recent video article with MS Now. And brought this group in, and some of the things that they're saying, I had to show it to you, and I apologize to my audience that has seen this a couple weeks ago, but I have to show Mark this clip. So this is that same group, and one of these new MS Now guys that they're getting out to go, new on the ground reporter type person, went and found these guys, and I just have to show it to you. It's insane. So.
There are growing signs that President Trump's MAGA base is fracturing, with high-profile defections by former Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and influencer Ashley St. Clair, and recent polling that indicates that the overall number of people who identify as Republican is shrinking. But for the diehard, leaving MAGA isn't easy. When you were a part of the MAGA movement, how deep were you?
I was as deep as anyone could have been. I was an aspiring MAGA pundit. I had bylines in places like Fox and The Federalist. I spoke at Trump groups. I was a donor on the campaign. I was unapologetically a MAGA and Trump supporter.
Rich Logis is the founder and CEO of Leaving MAGA, a nonprofit for those disillusioned.
Now, do you think it's possible for him to have been a Republican and a Trump supporter? I mean, I think it could be.
And
I noticed that he was.
Site, it's like he's only got a few testimonials on there too. If you go through his site,
Oh yeah,
when I did that whole Leaving MAGA thing last year, I bumped into this guy quite a bit, and he talked about all these people that have reached out to him. It's like, all right, how come you only have like 7 testimonials? And it all looks like you paid them $20 to say it. You know, like,
well,
it doesn't
I think
really.
in just a few seconds, you might actually see this might be the 7 people that he paid that are part of their own organization, supposedly. I mean, you know, and they say nonprofit, but really, you know, they're making money off this thing, and really, who's it for? And by the end of this thing, the only thing I could think of is that the only reason why they even have to do this is similar to what you found when you were going through and trying to find those clips last year. Was that they had to be manufactured. They had to take something out of context. They had to only show part of it. They had to edit out the part where, oh, I'm sorry, everyone, it was actually just a joke. You know, I should still have my MAGA hat or whatever was going on with it. And they always just have to manufacture this. And so the only conclusion I can come to is that there's still, as of 1 year of us going over this, seeing this topic now re-emerge, because they're trying to re-push this out ahead of the midterms here in 2026, that they still don't have that kind of public outcry or public denouncement that they kind of are searching for, in order for them to kind of give happy feelings to the left. It's almost they're trying to give them positive reinforcement for keep doing what you're doing, keep this hate up, whatever they're doing, you know, we're winning hearts and minds. It's almost like they need like this cheerleading.
Oh, absolutely. Like, to keep their I guess their sick voter base going, they have to give them like some light at the end of the tunnel. The thing is, though, you'll see a lot of liberals right now, and I refer to everybody on the left as liberals, right? Some people will say to me, oh, they're leftists, or they're not liberals. Oh, they're Democrats, they're not liberals. No, anybody that has the mindset that tilts over to the left, you're all fucked up. You're all liberals to me. It's really, really rare that you bump into somebody that actually has some common sense on that side, and they need to have this light at the end of the tunnel to feel like there's something there, and they get overconfident. I think in the back of their mind that they know their party sucks, that they're done. And to be honest with you, being on the right side of things, I'm not super confident in the Republican Party at all right now. I think Trump has screwed up a few things. And I'm not talking about Iran and people want to go in that direction. What he's needed to focus on for a damn long time right now is the kitchen table politics. And he's ignored it for way too long. People need more money in their pocket or they're not going to vote for you. And time's running out. So I hate to say it, but there's a chance that we might lose like the House or the Senate. If they lose either one of those two, the rest of his presidency's down the tubes. Yeah,
well, I have to say that there's a scenario that's worse than... So there's different scenarios that are worse than others. I think as long as they can maintain the Senate, you're pretty much going to have the same result. You still already have a feckless House and Senate that doesn't really want to enact a lot of what he wants to do anyway. At least, you know. So, but on the other side of that, they might have to. So it depends on how much they were able to get through. Because a lot of, I think, the way some of this works is that they have they get a lot passed through House and Senate, or some through House while they have it, and then it kind of sits up and piles up on both sides. So if the Senate does something, it piles up on the House side, and it won't go through unless the House goes through with it, and then that might not happen if they if they don't have the majority. Then the same thing for the Senate. So, but really, what we're mostly concerned with, in my mind, is just having to deal with 2 years of impeachment of bullshit like that. And so they're already going to be doing their stupid investigations. They're already going to be doing that. So they can do that, but we'll have to see how things play out. But you're absolutely right. I feel like there's a couple things that they seem to lack coherent and good messaging on, and a lot of these topics that they kind of have brushed off. They say, oh, this is Democrat hoax. This is the word affordability is a Democrat. No, it's not. Affordability was the sentiment that got you elected, and that appears to be what you're. And I think that there's a little bit of truth to Trump himself maybe being a little bit out of touch with that kind of thing, just because from his cushy life. That's the way it is. But I hope that he has enough people around him that can kind of say that this needs to happen. And I think he may feel that urgency, but I'm just not sure.
The economy's not the hottest economy on the planet anymore, and everything like he's trying to pull off. Like he speaks to the people that voted for him as if they are done. We have the hottest economy. Everybody wants to be us. And what I'm so sick of is Iran's begging me to make a deal. Like, okay, I'm sure they are at this point. And then he's talking about how they just brought in millions and millions of barrels of oil. Okay, then how come your gas hasn't dropped significantly more then? How come gas, it's not still up there, but it's definitely better than Canada, I'll tell you that. But gas should be down way low if you have all sorts of it. There's just, I don't know, he tries to make everybody feel like everything's amazing. I made America great again already, now I just want to concentrate on foreign policy. And sorry, you haven't made it great again. I think he can. I think he's eventually going to get cornered, and he's going to have to. And if he doesn't get his ass in gear before November, one of the two are going to go, the House or the Senate. The only thing that we have in I guess, the light at the end of our tunnel is how absolutely insane these people are that are the opposition. Like, they're pressing the gas even more on the shit that lost Kamala the election, and they're doubling down. Like, they're really going with the shit sticks to the wall theory. And I don't know, it creeps me out. If they get the House or the Senate back, it's not going to be it's not going to be a fun ride for the rest. It really isn't.
Yeah. So everything, great points. I mean, I think we're in agreement a lot with it, that we would like to have it be better, and that the messaging seems to be disjointed between what he's saying and how most people are feeling, especially the people that are politically aloof, the people that don't really, the people that all they're doing is going to work, they're going to the grocery store, and they're filling up their tanks. Those are the people that you have to reach by results, not by messaging, and I understand that. So then going back to the weave here, getting back to this video here, I bring those points up to bring up, who is this for? It seems as though they have the demoralization of their own party itself. So the Democrat Party, they don't like it. There's countless videos on TikTok of them saying the Democrats establishment, the leaders, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, all the names. They bring up the names specifically. They say these people, and then they'll go, well, but Mandami, but these other people, they were willing to support Graham Plattner as far as they did, which is kind of ridiculous. But so I guess since you mostly know about this group, and in our group here mostly knows about this, I just want to show you one little thing about what this lady said that really gave me pause about just how fake this group is.
January 6th, prior to the PBS documentary, and I looked at him and I said, Scott, did that really happen? And he was like, where have you been?
It's so hard for people, because I said it's not that you're dumb, you were fooled. That's incredibly hard to admit.
We are in the United States of algorithms right now, and MAGA media is very efficacious, it's very effective, and it's very disciplined.
Stefania became disillusioned when MAGA beliefs clashed with her understanding of medical science.
When I really began to wake up was during COVID, because as a trained respiratory therapist with 5 children, the mixed messaging was something that finally broke through the cognitive dissonance, because I was hearing, wear masks. No, don't. They don't stop respiratory viruses, when I very much knew that they did.
She's a respiratory therapist, and she's like, oh, well, I knew that the masks work. Did you? You're a respiratory therapist.
They work so well.
Anyway. All right.
That stupid look on her face, 3 ever paused right now, too.
Okay, let's get over to, I brought up the Graham Plattner thing, and this kind of ties back into our conversation. Did you see any of the clips of the people that found Graham Plattner?
No.
The people that found Graham Plattner, you have to see this.
What do you mean, like discovered him and?
Yeah, so they're like a talent agency. They were somehow tasked. So you have to put yourself in. You have to thinking that, okay, the Democrats said, or essentially they on their own, so through some sort of affiliate or whatever, they said we're going to make this person our candidate for, and then get him to the primary, and then if we can get him to the primary, the Democrat Party is going to have to deal with us. So I said it may not have been the Democrat Party per se that did this, but they were tasked with this Democrat Socialists of America to try to go in and find these progressive candidates. And so here's them trying to talk about the vetting. And to me, when I think about, okay, so they did shitty vetting, obviously, and so here he is being kind of confronted about that. But then this is the people that are finding the people that they're running, and it just kind of explains everything when I show you this. So here you go.
At this point, you hadn't vetted Graham Plattner. You hadn't done a full scrub of who he is. How did you go about vetting him? And why did you?
We paid a nice firm a whole chunk of money and got some stuff back. Some of what you've seen on the news we got back. Other stuff we didn't.
Did the vetting process turn up the tattoo that became so controversial?
No.
The Reddit posts, did that turn up in the vetting process?
Come on.
The firm sent us a thing, and it had some of the posts, but it didn't have all of them.
And what did you think about that? How did you think your way through the fact that he had posted these things on social media?
I said none of this will or should stop him from becoming a U.S. Senator.
And what was your thinking there?
It gets worse.
I think if what the voters wanted were people who were grown in vats and had never done or said anything that they might regret their entire lives, we'd have a very different country.
So
Part of our thesis here is that
it actually gets worse.
People do not want their candidates grown in vats. They want people who are real human beings.
Are you a real human being? I have my doubts. I have my doubts.
And they want people who do not look and sound like the background people who've been leading this country off a cliff for the last century. And that was Graham.
Just days.
I could not sit there and have a conversation with this guy. He's all the way up here.
I mean, you have vocal fry and upspeak. That's a
yeah, right. Like, and just basically, you've seen his shady background. Like, yeah, this is our guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see if this will work. I don't know if it'll work on it. Might work on your end. Let's see.
Beta.
There we go. Can you hear that? Do you hear Jesse Lee Peterson on your end?
Beta. No,
you can't hear it. Okay. All right, they can hear it though.
How do you find this stuff? Like,
well, this one in particular went viral. This made it all the way to Gutfeld, to some of these other places. Like everyone, it's because of the voice. Everyone saw that and they're like, "Holy shit! These are the people that found Graham Plattner." Like, it's like it's. I mean, how many steps backwards? Okay, so that was that one. Let's see. We had did this, did that, did this. Did you see the story about in D.C. with the lady on the train surrounded by Patriot Front?
Yes, oh God, Rosa Parks version number 2 is how they're trying to make it now.
And did you see...
isn't it convenient that there was somebody there to take that picture?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Patriot Front themselves, considering the type of group that they are.
Not one of them were even looking at her, though, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was all like the back of their heads. And...
Well, the thing about her in particular, and look, she apparently may have some sort of some mental issues or something. Apparently, she was someone who's like a kind of, I don't know if it's a vagrant on the subway, but someone who definitely is not doing nice things on the DC subway with exposing herself and other things like that. So it's so I thought that was kind of interesting that they're propping this person up. And look, she doesn't wrong with the person. Look, people go through their own stuff, and that's not the point of this. Is that they're trying to elevate this as if it's like they know a whole story based on a picture. Mm-hmm. that they can convey this, and that for propaganda they can say everything from an image when there's so much more behind it. Like the fact that the Patriot Front group used to be Vanguard America, that had some Ukrainian ties, that had some Soros-backed kind of money behind it. There's other people that have done research with this group that in its current form that shows that it's some rich leftists that are funding part of what they do, so that it has this appearance of, look how prevalent this is, when it's really just the same 30 people every time, just going around the country, and then of course they do it at a very specific time to poison the well. So that means, well, you can't espouse Christianity because, well, these people are white Christian nationalists. So therefore, if you hit any one of those categories, then somehow anything it's poisoning the well. It's guilt by association by this group doing it, and that's the entire purpose of that group. There is no other purpose of that group. What else have they even said that they're even trying to do, other than they go out and they say that we're white Christian nationalists? And they don't even necessarily say that, but that's what the media says. And so if that's the only thing that's being used from this, then that seems to be what its purpose is, because they seem to not want to correct any of that or try to say, no, this is not the only thing we're doing. Like, they don't have any other messaging other than to go out and let the media fill in the gap.
Yes, that's exactly what they do. And then they jump back into the U-Haul truck. Mm-hmm. This time they couldn't even afford the U-Haul. They had to take the subway.
So here you go. I don't know if you've seen this clip. This is I'm really shocked that they fired Joy Reid from MSNBC.
Thank you very much. And I'll tell y'all, when we go back and look in history, that photo, but also the photo of Representative Al Green holding up his cane and shaking it at that Congress, those are going to go into history, because the 2020s are the rebirth of the 1920s. It just is a fact. And remember, in the 1920s, those very same Klan who were marching mask on or mask off with their hoods on through the Capitol are the very same kinds of people who claimed that black men were rapists, but then would grab black men, women, and children and lynch them in front of children. They would.
Now, it's going to escalate, and it's in you think it's going to be the top of the roller coaster here. It's going to click and clack, and just watch how far she goes with this.
Oh, for sure, it's Joy Reid.
Bring their children to lynchings. It was the most violent era in this country's history. These people murdered more than 4,000 black men, women, and even pregnant women and children, forcing black boys to jump off of a bridge into ice cold water and drown, shooting, killing, burning alive. Every manner of horror were meted out by the very people who now claim that black people are inherently violent.
And that we should basically just, be happy and that,
Or leave.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, their core claim is that they can't live with black people because black people are inherently violent and inherently criminal, but they come from a tradition that is a tradition of skinning people alive and using the skin as leather to make furniture, of consuming the bodies of black enslaved people in post-slavery, of throwing little black babies, boys and girls, into the river in order to draw out alligators, and then calling it gator bait, and then putting the murder on postcards. These are people who, again, on a Sunday would go to church, and then on Sunday evening go and lynch a child or a woman or a man, and then shoot the body full of holes, and then the pieces of the body that fell on the ground, they would take them home as souvenirs. This is the most violent culture. It is the right. It is conservatism. It is right-wingery. These people have always been the single most violent people in the country, and I would say in the world. These people are inherently, excruciatingly, extravagantly violent. And even when they're not doing violence, their thoughts are violent. They want to violently deport people who've been in the country for 25, 30.
I mean, so she just went on that. And here's the thing. Are some of those things real? Turns out, yeah. I've actually looked into some of these things. Some of those things absolutely are real. But she's taking about 300 years of strings of isolated incidents and saying that this is who were, I guess, Republicans in the 1920s. They're saying that's the same people. That's the same, we're doing the same exact thing. And that's just simply not true. And then at the end of it, out of all that, she's like, well, this is the same thing as deporting people. No, it's not. It's not. So I just find it odd, or I find it why would you have to go to such extremes in your depiction of actual, some it's depravity. That is something that's not, no one condones that at all. But then say, well, that's the same thing as deportation? That's ridiculous. Why would you have to compare it to something so extreme?
Well, you see, you just said, I don't understand why MSNBC, or MS Now, as they call themselves now, fired Joy Reid. This is exactly why they did, because this is all she would do on her show. Mm-hmm. She's all about, without directly saying it, completely anti-white. She has the mentality of black people can't be racist because we've been oppressed for so long and we've dealt with so much bullshit, so whatever racism we throw at you now is well-deserved and we're not being racist, it's just a little bit of payback. And this is what she started to build her show on. And everything is the white man's fault, and black people are always innocent. Now, I bring up these type of topics on my show quite a bit when it comes to, when I see black people acting out, and I don't just mean by, running into a buffet and tearing it apart, it's when they have this entitled attitude, and they don't know their history. And I can't sit there and teach them black history. I don't know black history, but I do know how to use a keyboard and look at multiple sources to see if, what they're saying is true or not. And these people are so deluded, and they have such a victim mentality, and it's people like Joy Reid that affirm it and make these people feel that Carmelo Anthony was the victim, and that white people are, committing atrocities towards the black community once again. But we all know if the skin color was reversed in that same situation, and if the white kid was being bullied, no matter what, he was the one in the wrong. It's complete victimhood. It makes me happy when I see a black person with common sense, especially when I bump into a Democrat black person with common sense, and they call out this type of bullshit.